Hey, Jeremy here. I want to talk about if robots are going to take over and automate graphic design. So we all know that technology is evolving, it's expanding, it's growing, and being a graphic designer in today's age has been better than ever because it's in demand. You know, people need it, and we are increasingly using it on social media with content, with brand identity, and there's so many things happening, right? But what I've seen lately is that robots and automation and AI have increased to a level where they can actually do similar tasks to what a basic level graphics designer can do, right? So I want to share some things that are happening in the industry and how we can thrive, or how you can thrive as a designer so you can actually keep getting paid for your skills. So there are three things that I've sort of noticed, one being AI. And one of the cool tools is actually Adobe Sensei. So I'll quickly show you what that is. And it's actually a really cool, interesting tool. It can actually sort of do things that a designer can do. So if you give it some images, if you give it some text, it can actually create things on the fly. Even when like video editing, it's very intuitive with how it gives a responsive design for mobile, things like masking, quick masking, photorealistic effects, all those really interesting things in terms of like editing. It actually speeds up the workflow because when you're doing image searches, it's very fast in how it finds those images with a simple click of a button. So you can look into that a little bit more. So that's AI. You know, AI is going to continually increase, and because they want to speed up human workflow and the way we work in our businesses. So AI is a big problem, but I'll talk about some ways on how to prevent that. Another thing I've noticed is something called automated logos. So here's an interesting example from Tailor Brands. Basically, you drop in a name. So here is a website. You can check it out, tailorbrands.com. There's plenty of these sites out there where it actually generates a logo, right? So they're called logo generators, where you don't need to put in any work really. Like someone off the street can just go in, put, for example, I'll just chuck in a name, creating quality wood, whatever. I'll click design, and it starts generating basically IDs and things that I can use, right? So I'll quickly go through here into your industry, natural cosmetics. We deliver on time wood carvings or something. So let's go icon based geometric shape. So you create selections. I can select different things, and then it's sort of gonna generate something for us. So it's sort of AI, it's sort of a generator, and this is something that I've noticed a lot. And the thing is, like, you need to develop your skills as a designer, especially if you want to do logos. It's easy to create shapes, but how can you create a package or something that involves the client and adds more value, right? So boom, here we go. It generated a logo for us. No, I don't want to sign up. So it's making me sign up, whatever. And then it basically creates the logos, as you can see in the back, but whatever. Another example of this is designs.ai. So once again, it's AI, it's a generator. It's basically something that creates logos, banners, designs for you by just inputting a few bits of data, where it be like some text, a logo, your brand colors, or a font, and it's just going to generate random layouts and stuff like that. So if I scroll down here, you can see all that. Some of the things they do, speech maker, mock-up maker. So they're really trying to compete in the market, as a core product, right? So how can we thrive as a designers? How can we avoid things like this that's happening in the industry right now, especially with things like the pandemic and all that stuff? People are jumping online, and people are trying to find ways to start up new businesses really fast on low budgets. So it's like, how can we develop ourselves as a graphic designer? Right? So I found this cool quote from someone called Muir. They said, the designer will evolve to become the starter, editor, and controller of a project. As a starter, they'll be responsible for establishing the initial setup while defining the design problem. And they go on to say, As an editor, they will be compiling, splicing, mixing, sampling, and selecting the machine-made concepts. And finally, as the controller, they will evaluate, catalog, and create the criteria for the design output. So, what they're really saying is that a designer is more than just a craft person or someone that's just going to be doing simple, building and crafting, but actually doing a whole bunch of things, reimagining, shifting, mixing ideas up and concepts, and taking things that are already working and actually delivering that based on the design problem and being objective, right? So this leads me to my first point, is that we need to develop high-paying creative skills, right? So learn to think strategically, learn to sell your thinking, learn to be able to develop better concepts, better packages for your clients. Instead of just doing logos or just brochures or little business cards, why not do like a package, do full identities, or maybe shift into doing a more holistic approach instead of just doing little jobs here and there on freelance sites, right? And it will require effort of getting referrals, building your reviews and your client base and all that stuff. So for me, you need to develop bigger, better, high-level thinking skills. And if you don't have the skills right now, pay for a course, pay for a mentor, pay for a coach, and develop those skills. Number 2 is specialize in a niche, right? So what's really booming at the moment is UI and UX. So a lot of people are moving towards that because everything's on mobile and everything's on web these days. So people are looking for digital experiences. So maybe you want to do that, or maybe you want to focus on being an illustrator, right? So a lot of startups need illustrations for their websites, for their promotional campaigns, marketing campaigns. So if you want to do that, then learn how to develop your own style as an illustrator. Point number 3 is learn to think strategically. So can you add a discovery workshop or a brand workshop, or even develop like brand strategy? Those things are really going to help you, not just because you want to add more money and get paid more. It's not about that. It's actually about offering more value, understanding your client better, and helping them develop something that's going to work based on their market, and helping develop them business strategies, marketing campaigns, things like that. That's going to be, produce results. So learn to develop your creative thinking. You can take courses. I've got some courses out there. Even the Future is really great for learning how to do that. And then lastly, it's like, this is my main point, is like robots can't think like humans. So be creative. We have that creative essence. We have that ability to combine ideas together. Whereas a robot or an AI just does what the data we put in, right? It reads ones and zeros. It's binary. It only learns from the data we input into the machine. Whereas humans, we're able to think creatively, expanded consciousness, and we have the power to, create stuff, to experiment, to do way more, and think off the logic and think more intuitively. So that's my my take on that. But yeah, that's how you want to thrive. Do those things if you want to grow and develop yourself as a designer and grow your business. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below on your thoughts on AI. Do you think it's taking over? Do we need to summon the Terminator to destroy Skynet? Or should we just not be worried and just keep moving forward? But at the end of the day, guys, if you're growing, developing, building your own personal brand, and doing the best work you can, you will make money and run a business smoothly and get the clients that you want. If you want to learn more about design, you can check out my Skillshare courses. I talk about logo design, freelancing, texturing, a whole bunch of stuff. So you can check it out on Skillshare. Swipe up, use my link in the description below to get 14 days free trial of the premium, and check my courses out. Hopefully it will help you out as a beginner. Thanks so much for watching. This is Jeremy from Sydney, Australia. I'll chat to you in the next video.